Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bayou Time Sports. Sun Belt Conference having its big media days in New Orleans. It's actually in the Warehouse District. And one of those teams that competed quite well in the Sun Belt last year was the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. That school actually won 10 games last year and played in the bowl game against TCU. They made it to the championship game of the Sun Belt Conference. That was against Marshall, where they did not fare very well. They lost that one 31-3, but they're gearing up again under Coach DeSarmo, and they're getting ready to go. Let's listen in to what we might see from the University of Louisiana this upcoming season.
You know, each year is a new year, and it's independent from the last. You know, the thing about it is no one's entitled to getting anything other than an opportunity to decide their own outcomes 12 weeks out of the year. You know, each year as a coach, and we talked about this as a staff, you have to get excited about the opportunity to rebuild and reinvent your team for that year. You know, coming off of last year, we developed a lot of confidence because we knew the work that we did put us really close to where we wanted to be. But in the end, we came up short. You know, I think in football and life and whatever you do, you got to set high goals. You have to establish high standards, and you got to work intently to meet or exceed those standards day in and day out. I'm really proud of the work our team's done for 7 months now, but the reality is that it just gives us an opportunity for success this year, and I think these guys know this as well as anybody. It doesn't guarantee anything. You know, how relentless are we willing to be over the course of the next month to achieve our goals day in and day out is really going to determine how far this group goes. I think after a year like last year, when you come up a little bit short, it does one of two things. I think it either develops a sense of complacency, you know what I'm saying, hey, we almost got there, you know, worked really hard, and it's just kind of what we are. Or it drives you to do more, drives you to work harder and relentlessly pursue what you really want. You know, I'm proud of last year, but we're not there yet. And that's the first thing I told this team in January. There's more work to do. You know, we're confident and we're excited about 2025, but there's more work to do. I think the confidence in this year comes from the roster and the work that they've done. You know, recruit, develop, retain. You hear it all the time. All three of those things are challenging. Retaining probably becoming the most difficult. You know, we're extremely proud that we've been able to keep our roster together over the course of the last 3 years. And I think it's simply because of a few things. Number one, we recruit the right types of kids, guys that want to be here and see the value in choosing Louisiana as the right fit for them. You have a 6th and a 7th year senior right here. Guys that started here, chose to come here for the right reasons and have stayed. Relationships still matter. We're still all in on building relationships. And I think it starts with a true love and respect for each other. Community support is always big. We all understand that. You see our community invest in the university and the stadium. They've supported our team. They've come around and understand that the current landscape of what college football is something that they have to be involved in, because they want to see these guys start and finish here. You know, lastly, the reason we've had success and had success last year and will continue to is because teams still win. Our guys play for each other. They sacrifice for each other, and they see the value in being a part of a team that shares the same vision, the same purpose, the same goals, and they care more about the collective success than they do about their own. So we're excited about this season. We're eager to build off of what we did last year, but we know that the best is yet to come. And so with all that, I'll go ahead and I'll open it up to questions here.
We'll open up the floor for questions. If you do have a question, please raise your hand and we'll have a microphone brought to you. Please give us your name and the affiliation. And for those of you joining us online on Zoom, please type your questions into the chat and we'll read them here in the room.
Kevin Foot, Acadiana Advocate. Jax and Tyree. Jax, last year y'all had a first-year offensive line coach. Y'all are going into the second year. Talk about the progress going from 1 year to second. And then Tyree, you had a new defensive coordinator. Talk about that second year there and the progress that could be made there.
Yeah, I think going into the second year, we're a lot more comfortable with Coach Farmer. Last year we had to get through some terminology issues, some communication issues. But I think this year, you know, it's a lot more comfortable. We know who he is. He knows who we are. We were able to build that relationship all through last season, all through off season. Coach Farmer's a great coach. Yeah, I'm excited to keep working with him.
All right, last year, Salgado, great defensive coordinator, one of the best. And first year with us was last year. He had some high standards, man. We fulfilled those, but now it's the second go-around, man. Every year, second go-around always has to be better, and we have some high standards, and we have to fulfill those standards that he has. So.
Shannon Belt from the Daily Advertiser. Coach, I know you talked a lot about retention and keeping players, but talk a little bit about how you've reloaded the offense and defense heading into this year when it comes to transfers.
Well, you know, I mean, our philosophy is to basically take transfers where it's needed to replace some attrition maybe that you couldn't foresee. You know, when you lose an older guy, you don't plan on losing, and you have to go into that world. You know, and that's kind of what we did. You know, we took a receiver after we lost an older receiver.
Again, the University of Louisiana at Media Days in New Orleans, and it's usually hosted in New Orleans for the Sun Belt Conference. Remember, that conference is going to see a little change next year. Louisiana Tech coming in. So we have the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. We have ULM, the University of Louisiana at Monroe, and next year it'll be Louisiana Tech in that Sun Belt. A pretty good conference considering just recently we had Coastal Carolina, who is in that conference, who competed for a national championship against LSU in baseball. So a very competitive mid-major conference, and UL does quite well in football as they did last year, and they're hoping for another big season this upcoming year. Got to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda and Barker Kia.